All right, let's talk about Alibaba. This is a tech giant that, right now, is living a kind of double life. It's a story that's full of contradictions, and honestly, it's absolutely fascinating.
I mean, just look at this. On one side, you've got Fortune magazine putting Alibaba on its Change the World list, celebrating its incredible work in AI. But then you look at the other side, and you see that the company's workforce has been cut by more than half.
So, what's the real story here? Is Alibaba this amazing global innovator, or is it a struggling giant that's being forced to make some really painful cuts? Well, the crazy part is, the answer is both. And figuring out how both can be true at the same time, that's the key to understanding everything Alibaba is doing right now.
Okay, so first, let's look at the innovation story because at the very core of Alibaba's future is this massive, massive bet on artificial intelligence and the cloud. And when I say massive, I am not kidding. We are talking about $53 billion. That's what they're pouring into their cloud and AI infrastructure over just 3 years. To give you some perspective, that is more than they spent in this area over the entire last decade.
And listen to this quote from their CEO, Eddie Wu. It really shows you just how big they're thinking. He's not talking about just making a new product. He wants to create the, quote, operating system for the AI era. By making their AI model, Qwen, open source, they're basically inviting the whole world to build the future using their tools. It's a huge gamble.
And it's not just talk, This is already having a huge effect in the real world. Qwen has been downloaded over 600 million times. You've got startups cutting their costs by a third. Even researchers at places like Stanford and Berkeley are using it to build powerful AI models for less than $50. This is what democratizing AI actually looks like. And this chart right here, this tells you why it matters so much to the business. Look at that. The cloud and AI group's revenue is up 34%. Now compare that to the whole company, which only grew 5%. It's pretty clear this division isn't just a side project, it's quickly becoming the main engine for growth.
But now we have to talk about the other side of the story. Because while that AI engine is absolutely roaring, Alibaba's original business, its e-commerce empire, is stuck in a brutal, all-out war.
The big challenger is a company called PDD Holdings. You probably know them as the parent of Pinduoduo and Temu. Their whole social group buying thing has completely shaken up the market. It's forced Alibaba to go back to the drawing board for its huge platforms, Taobao and Tmall.
Now, Alibaba is definitely not taking this lying down. They are fighting back, and they're fighting back hard with a really expensive counteroffensive. They're pouring money into super fast delivery, they're bringing on thousands of new brands, and they're trying to make the whole shopping experience way smoother. But this war is costing them a lot. Just take a look at these numbers. Yeah, revenue is up 5%, which is fine, but look at the cost. Their income from operations, down a staggering 85%, and their net income, a key measure of profit, down 72%. They are literally burning cash to defend their home turf.
And you have to understand, this isn't some mistake. This isn't an accident. This is the calculated and very painful price they've decided to pay to transform the company.
And that transformation, well, it has a very real, very human cost. This whole strategic pivot, moving away from old businesses and into new ones like AI, has had a huge impact on the people who work at Alibaba.
I mean, the sheer scale of it is just hard to wrap your head around. Just 3 years ago, the company had over 250,000 employees. Today, it's just over 124,000. That is more than half of the entire workforce.
And behind those numbers are actual people. People like Wu Yu, a 45-year-old worker who was a high performer before she was laid off. Her story really captures that shock, that feeling that the ground is shifting under your feet. A job at Alibaba used to be a golden ticket, a sure thing. Not anymore. Now, the official corporate term for all this is cost reduction and efficiency. What that really means is they're selling off parts of the business that aren't central to their mission, and they're trimming headcount to free up a ton of cash. Why? To pour it right back into those top priorities, AI and winning the e-commerce war. It's a brutal but very deliberate choice.
So, okay, we've got this wild situation. Soaring innovation on one side and this painful, expensive transformation on the other. So how in the world is Wall Street, the people betting billions of dollars on this company, making sense of it all?
Well, you might think they'd be a little nervous, right? But it's the complete opposite. They are overwhelmingly optimistic. Big firms like Citigroup, Bernstein, Jefferies, they're all sticking with their buy ratings and are actually raising their price targets.
They fully believe in the long-term plan.
And investors are right there with them. Despite the terrible profit numbers and the massive layoffs, look at this. Alibaba stock is up an incredible 90% this year. That absolutely crushes its main rival, PDD. So the market isn't just okay with this strategy, they're actively rewarding it.
And this quote from the CFO, Toby Xu, really just lays it all out. He's basically saying it out loud, we are sacrificing our profits today so we can own the future. He's telling everyone to expect bumpy profitability because that is part of the plan.
So that paradox we started with, it's solved. Alibaba isn't soaring or struggling. It is strategically and intentionally doing both of those things at the exact same time. It's taking the hit now to fund what it believes will be total dominance down the road.
This is a massive, high-stakes, all-in gamble on the future. They are trading the certainty of today for a shot at ruling tomorrow. And really, the only question left is the biggest one of all. Is it going to work?